You.
Bastards! We have a right to work!
The man yells towards the harbor gates. His voice is the loudest of the lot and oddly screechy for a man his size. What's going on here?
Pull up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
The proud-shouldered alpha male turns to you, his full head taller than everybody else here.
You're to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down?
Why should I do that?
We're to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes.
Okay, then I'm thinking no.
Good. We're fighting for a cause here.
He stands at the
Right
gates.
to work! Right to work! Besides, we're not that different. It helps the people see us talking. Cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence.
He leans closer to talk that. What kind of cause are we talking about?
Rights of people, rights of workers to have gainful employment, to make a salary, and feed their families.
Regardless, I would have some questions for you.
Maybe you should ask them the questions. Like why we're not allowed to make a living here.
He blows,
Shame on you!
He blows to the gates.
We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
He points his finger at the man sitting on the railing.
So do we, scab.
The loitering man hollers in return. Who are all these strike breakers? Look around. Honest men and women with the right to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interest. The man runs hands through his steadily craned military haircut. I came here to help the harbor run smoothly in this time of crisis. If union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work. I have a question. The lieutenant looks him in the eye. Who do all these men follow? Why do all these men follow your leadership? You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No, they follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy. Because they were, he starts bellowing, given a job to do. What exactly is your goal here? We were promised work, he points to the gates. We'd been there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates. Okay. And you are unable to breach the entrance. Main gates locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Could try to get in through the secretary office, he points up the stairs. Doors locked. The guards blocking the way to the access panel. And I don't mean the scrawny masked punk either, he points at the dock worker idling on the staircase. I mean head measurer, or whatever he is. Wait, head measurer? Huge Simi's guy standing up there on the overhead passage. Won't let anyone by. The access funnel is right behind him. How bad could one guy be? You seem capable. Bad. The man glares at you. Standing on a railroad bridge is called a strategically advantageous position, and he's trained. I don't know how Union has a trained killer up there, but that one's no joke, and my men are tired and hungry. They're workers, not fighters. Why don't you just talk to them? Like civilized folk, you mean? The man rubs his chin. These native fucks don't understand civilized. It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now, if you can't get in anyway. No, they will give us up eventually, or get drunk, leave the button unguarded. Then we charge. The man rubs his jaw, a perfect lightly bedded square wedge. What is a strike? When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't get their act together, decide to block honest work for other people. He shifts uncomfortably in his workers' overalls. What do the strikers want? Beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and worker rights, while we, he raises his fist and starts shouting, have the right to work. I want to go to the harbor too. Have fun. He snorts. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. You trying to meet their fat boss? Well, I'm interviewing people about the murder that took place here, behind the hostel cafeteria there. I know nothing about the murder, his reply snappy and terse. The mention of a killing sends a barely noticeable shiver of tenseness through him. Interesting. Absolutely nothing. Wouldn't put it past these harbor bugs. They'd do anything to stay alive. Right to work. Again shakes his large fist and turns back to you. It's shameful, cops doing nothing. You should bring backup, open the gates for us. Blockades gainful employment for workers is a crime. This really isn't my area of expertise. We're not picking a side in this just yet, sir. Pity. He turns around and blows at the gates. Let us work. I can understand kind of both sides, to be honest, if we think about it. It says GRIH. The Greater Virtual Industrial Harbor, okay. You there.
Scab?
Okay, I'm able to get over here nonetheless, at least. Scab asks a man with the jolly eyes tilting his head. What exactly is a scab?
A kind of a worm, content with mere survival. They come, they want to do our job for shittier pay, screwing over both themselves and us. Everybody loses.
I can understand that too. Hold on, where did they all come from?
Beats me. Somewhere in the ground, I think.
You don't seem to like them much.
Gotta be bloody stupid or freaking evil to Scab. Or I guess, scared maybe. But scared of what? Of who?
He looks at the mask, squinting his eyes, as if trying to ascertain what they're scared of.
Personally, I'd rather beg than Scab. If the gentleman shouting on the street came begging, maybe they'd have gotten something.
Let's not. Have you tried talking to them?
We've explained the matters, but they don't listen. This lot would be reasonable and go home if the big guy wasn't riling them up all the time.
He shakes his head. Well, I'm not a scab, I'm a cop.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab.
His smile deepens, his wrinkles even more.
Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money.
He chuckles, then realizes.
Speaking of, what brings the RCM here, to the wild north? Come to see the strife?
I've come to Martini's investigating a murder. Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder. I have no idea what I'm doing. You are right, it's almost impossible. I'm 91% sure I'll never get it solved. Probably not, he nods. I wouldn't even know where to start with that. Much better here at the harbor for an honest union man like me. Well, I would be looking for an assistance with a dead body. Body still hanging in the tree. He rubs his chin as if pondering his core beliefs. Hey, that's a rough pickle. Can't help you with that, sorry. I'm not really an admirer of dead bodies. Might be someone else from the Union can render assistance. He shrugs. Does this mean you can let me through the gate? I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. He takes a swig and points up the stairs with his flask. The passage grants itself. Okay, empathy. Beneath the jolliness, he suddenly seems doubtful. That's simple. I just walk in. Hey, walk right past Measurehead and go in. Past Measurehead? Eh, 2.5 meter tall Siemens supremacist. Supremacist there. Ah, this guy. He points to the bridge above the gates. Walk right past him. Right. Then press the button to unlock the door. Uh-huh. Then go past him again. Okay. And you enter the harbor through the office. Esta. For some reason it doesn't seem like it's going to be that easy. Don't worry, I'm sure it's not completely impossible. For example, you could best Measurehead in a physical confrontation. Doubtful. Or you could convert to his similar supremacist worldview, or he strokes his mustache. Maybe it actually is completely impossible. Has anyone here ever bested him in physical confrontation? Not yet, no. He fixes his eyes on you, evaluating your proofs. He's incredibly strong. Has any of the scabs tried converting to his worldview? John Luke himself would say the philosophy has proven overly heroic for the scabs to convert to. Not enough intuition. Got it, another thing. What's the strike about anyway? You know, serious business, he smiles. I'm sure the big boss would be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first. Succession, he's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and on a better footing with the organization. Okay. Well, nice talking. Gotta get moving for now. Well, let's at least check this possibility. This would be the goddamn door. A notice. In case of a strike, press button behind guard. Yeah. A hermetically sealed door locked by electronic means. There's no lock picking or door kick in this one. I'm not too surprised about that, but that's the other way there isn't going to work either. No man matches Measurehead. Yeah, I'm slightly worried about that too. Could I just talk with you? Measurehead's amazing. Hello. Measure.
Your body betrays your degeneracy.
Your body betrays your degeneracy. Well, I have been, yes. I can agree with that.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
The young woman at the giant's side agrees. Giant's side. Don't say anything, size him up first. Yeah, I'm gonna just size him up. Say nothing, size him up first.
Are you admiring my morphophysiology?
A ripple of muscle passes underneath his skin. He lets you look.
It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Ham Sandwich. You are not in danger because you are not a threat to me.
Well, I definitely am not a threat to you. Puff out your chest, still say nothing. My body is unimportant. I'm with the police and we need to get into the harbor.
That is precisely the negligence that has led you to succumb to Al-Ghul.
His face contorts in disgust as if he were smelling a dead rat.
You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick.
Is it really so bad? Smell your breath. Kim, is it really so bad?
It's not good.
Wait, alcohol?
Yes, Al-Ghul.
But what is alcohol?
Al-Ghul is an ancient Ilmaran poison, a parasitic fungus that has colonized your race. It is a trick the desert pygmies played on you for humiliating them and stripping them of their land.
You mean alcohol?
Correct, my small skull servant.
He nods approvingly. Ancient evil. I'm not a servant. I don't have a problem with alcohol. I just drink a little on the weekends. Anymore?
Your mouth moves, but the one who speaks is Al-Ghul. You are but a vessel for the Ghul now. Very little of yourself remains.
This is true, but I'm trying to gain it back.
Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race is waning.
After it, Miriam's like, show him that the house still got it. That seems very unlikely to work out well. First, let me make this clear. I'm not a drunk. I'm a cop. I just have a drink every now and then. Everyone does.
The ethanol fungus is deep within your nervous system, pulling the strings. You are merely its pupa now. I see no hope for you or your kind.
The race stuff is unimportant here. I just need you to help me do my job, please.
Begging for help, attempting to pass via for cooperation. How far the Occidental Haplogroup has fallen. You were once a noble and powerful race.
He pauses in melancholic reflection.
You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, race theory, and statecraft. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Quakers. But now your ascent to the genetic summit has halted. You are obsessed with sadness and with frivolous pop culture. You will be superseded. Isn't that right, babe?
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
In the face in easy success, there is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor, obviously. Succession, easy success. This man is not budging. Let's hope his superiors inside are more cooperative. Like now I'm just no, and no, and no. So which one of these two would I say? It was your people who put that dead body up there. Your people should help me get it down.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great world war.
Not wars.
Bring your troops to the Simenon Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, we will build a museum for you. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality called art and your microcephalic skulls.
Okay, sure. This is, I wish I had taken some more conceptualization. It could be actually at least something that I could try to do. Subscribe to his advanced race theory. Know anything about this mug? Show him the mug. He does not so much as glance at the object. Put this into the trash lately. Stop showing me your pathetic cup. I have no interest in it. What are those statues of yours supposed to mean? Racists are generally not very good examples of their race. He gestures towards the lorryman down the street. I am not like them. I am gradiometric perfection. I have taken the trouble of permanently drawn a penologic grid on my skull and feature. This should dispel any doubt. You're right, as craniometric perfection, my race does not stand a chance. Correct. God damn it, that's like... I so wish that I had one more in the conceptualization. This obviously now is not gonna work out because it's just... I know. This is a white check you may retire. You serve the Union, don't you? Aren't they white? Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that. He turns his eyes towards the harbor, seemingly bored with you. Authority, there must be some friction there. He's keeping it well hidden, however. I wonder which one I would want to say. You keep telling yourself that. Mr. Clay is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront police cultural capital, something your race Navistic communist never did. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic. My charm is a mysterious fourth thing. Jam, individualism. You have gotten these ideas from degenerate youth culture, have you not? You have picked them up from rock and roll songs. Nah, youth culture does not affect my thinking. Of course it does. You are a democrat, individualist and a rock and roll rebel, a pawn of international finance just like the rest of your ham-colored race. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the feminist race. Okay, I'll ask, who are the Seminese? The South Island race. Haplogroup A4A. We are the rightful masters of the Elysium archipelago. We descend from the Areopagites of ancient Peloponnesus and arrived here 4,000 years ago, millennia before you. We are the future, that is all you need to know. So you were born and raised on the islands before you moved to Revachol. I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulumbu are with me in my genetic dreams. I see young Simonist woman walk into the grey mass on Isle Le Ponton, waiting to immaculate conceptions from the pale. Genetic dreams. So you did not come from the islands? No. He cranes his head. I have heard about it on the radio. He would be appreciative if you did not further chase this line of inquiry in front of the woman. He'd appreciate it, but would it be good for me? So he's not really a Seminist, but fine, cool. Yes. Kim, what do you think about this? I think this race is better than the last, but the next race will be the really good one. How do you know there will be the next racist? There always is. Race is reality, he nods approvingly. Well, I can try to do this, even though it... Well, now there's a little bit more. Ah, I was +1 tactful in front of the woman. I didn't do that question. So, let's try. Subscribe to his advanced race theory. It worked. Perfect. Asked what kind of races are there first. Clarification is core to this stuff. Measurehead. I am new to this world. Help me understand its races. I need to know what kind of different races are there. Do you? The lieutenant looks at you. Whisper. This is for the thing. The lieutenant looks towards the harbor electronic door and then to you. He lets out an audible sigh. You are obviously a liberal Zeolite, the man tells him. A polyculturalist, I can see it from your love of microtechnology and your subtle choices. Do not deny your friend the truth you have denied yourself. There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the wild CF race cultural pedestry. Which one do you need education on? Well, tell me about A, the heroic races. Those are the Seminese. So you, the Aragonite and the Occidentals, excluding the Mon, of course. The Mon are riddled with eczema to the point where they find it impossible to smile. They're all lactose intolerant, a common result of inbreeding. Everyone has lactose intolerance, sure. A resident genetic pool has led the Mon on reprehensible street parades in Mon cities like Skansdal and Wedenford, wearing wooden clocks on their feet and little green tassels on their hats. Who exactly are the Mon? You know them by the names of their nation-states, the Oranges, the Gotwalins, and the Königssternens, so a little bit like Swedish. My people simply call them Mon. The Mon are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity. The tassel-centric culture inbreeding has led to a lactose-intolerant subrace whom no one can take seriously. Or I guess Königssternens would be like German or something, I don't know. Okay, got it. Who are type A then, in your view? The Vespertines and Messianals of Vesper and Messin, the ancient Meterions of Metio by the Golden Byzantic Sea, the Surnis of Surulash Clef, and even the North Königsteins all have type A race propensities. And the other large mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and Olegians to count as a heroic race. True, they are violent and expansionist, but they have a glandular problem. He throws his finger across his face. Overproduction of Sibium. Sibium is leaking into their brains, making them listen to El Mariach music and eat toxic minced meat-based food, which in turn only produces more Sibium. And who are the Siminis and Arabans in this? As proven by the Maun and the Mesk, Occidental type is retrograde. Siminis and the Arabite are on the ascend. And the Siminis are the indigenous people of this, the Insulians Archipelago, the Siminis inhabitants, the southern islands. He gestures towards the south across the ocean. I am Siminis, from the stock of Ulubrion on Isle de Phantom, and the Arabites. The Arabites are the master race of the Ilmarian deserts. The Siminis are descendants of the Archaeblites. We came here during a heroic migration from Ilmari to Iljund, thousands of years before the lactose-intolerant Maun-written Occidentals discovered this place. What's the difference between the Siminis and the Archaeblites? The Araucites are sleek, long-headed, the Siminis are powerful, mesophotic, the former is an immeasurable progenitor, unchanged in the super-isula of Pericanesis. Ancient brains rust in their slender skulls. He falls silent, contemplating beauty and the mystery. Then he continues, the latter is perfected and adapting. Together they form the Semino-Archaeophyte or Semerkite super race. That's all. There are no more type A races in the world. Inland Empire. Nature was not capable of more. Totally. Type B. Type B are the unrhetoric races, unheroic, amorphous non-competitioners of the great race. The Kojaks and the Voshildrens, they are mud-colored people. Mud-colored? To an untrained eye, the Koshka appear white and pinkish, like a ham sandwich. But look into their eye and you will see. His squint is full of sage wisdom. They are of an instinct muddy color, and so is their skin, unhealthy, sweaty, and ashen. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistics warfare and culture domination that the god people have undergone for drinking alcohol and smoking the degenerate tobacco herb, and for eating potato. Okay, so I'm part of that for the Al Ghul. As in alcohol, drinking alcohol, sure. I guess. The Koshko, the countless micronalities of God, are all inexplicably obsessed with potard. The only thing they like more is dividing into microscopic ethnostates, like political amoeba. And the Valkyries you mentioned? Revanjol is halfway between Type A and the racial Coltron. Two mixed to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little revolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our 82,000 year history on this planet. Easy success. Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea what is happening, but that seems a little off. Just a little bit off. Stupid political thoughts. That revolution was perpetrated by Tenecret left-wing marauders. I don't know if I should be going against his thoughts or not. The revolution was perpetrated by Tenecret left-wing marauders, not all people of Revanchol, I guess. The revolution came to Revanchol from Grad in charged written potato cards. It is literally an illness, a prior disease that leaves the parietal and frontal lobe written with holes, a soft sponge-like mass of dementia, hallucination, and paranoia. The revolution is fatal familial insomnia, a hereditary prior condition passed from the Koshko to the Occidentals. He paused in rhetoric self-reflection, but not sexually, probably through trade roots and potato acid, the prime component of the potato plant. I have difficulty following him. That's just so much. Enough of type B mediocrity. He not satisfied with the outcome. The vile CF race cauldron of pedestry, please. Type C to F are a museum of failed, chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Your morbid interest in them worries me. Chimeric experiments? Lesser races like the mosquito, grotesque mixture of a Mesk woman and a Siminis man. Only possible if the mother is Mesk and the father Siminis. The other way around, they fail to produce offspring. Interesting, they actually fail producing offspring then? The mosquito spawns sterile like a donkey. Interesting. Actually, there is then very different type of races here, and not just like considering humans in Earth can actually all reproduce with each other, but apparently it's not the case here. Interesting. He looks west ruefully. All they have left is to ride customized motor carriages with hydraulic suspensions, listening to aggressive El Mariac music to vent their impotent despair. Any more? Then there is... He pauses dramatically. The Semano-Kojik Chimera. Are you sure you wish to know of the Semano-Kojik Chimera? It is not an aesthetic site. Sure. The Koshiko, as you know, are very servile, especially when they meet the rich man. Okay. Racial scientists have toyed with the idea of crossing the Siminis with the Koshiko to produce a super work of Simini strength and god servility. This will never happen. The Siminis and the Koshko may have similar interpreting problems as the mosquito. We will never know precisely. No Siminis man could maintain an erection in the suffocating potato stance of a Koshko woman or Koshka. Okay, great to know. Thanks. Empathy. I succeeded. There is a strange sadness in his tone, a less than heroic melancholy this time. You seem kind of blue about this, Measurehead. The heart that pumps the hemoglobin is mysterious, and so it is it dark will, he answers enigmatically. Ella, enough of these personal matters. Have you been educated to all the raso types now? He does not seem angry, nor does the woman look affected. She just twirls her hair. Perhaps they've been through this and established an accord. Now that we've been through all the types, do I understand advanced race theory? You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery, let alone solved it. Will you help me get the body down if I do? We will see. Access to the Union is important for our investigation, but there may be another way in without becoming a race theoretician. Sure, there may. Am I mildly worried he might take it seriously? The lieutenant thinks, yes, I am. He concludes, I am worried. Well, I wouldn't be. How do I avert the mystery? Okay. Thought. You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. This clarity does not come instantly. Okay. I'll see about then. Leave. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss. Type B. Revangelion. Your love for disco music and venereal disease. Let me just leave for the moment and time being then. Advanced race theory. -1 to trauma fooled by the absurdity. A mass of fantastic races swirl in your head, dessert by meals playing with their own excrement, Koishiko's juggling potatoes, Estremaritan Mons grinning and dancing on wooden clocks. Everyone is there, the full race gang, plus some that you may have come up with yourself. The thief in subkeeps and the Zeolite cast a fortunate hashel in some kind of scheme. In the eye of this race, Empyrean, a vertical reaches up to the heavens. You sense something drawing nearer. I kind of wouldn't want to be doing this, but on the other hand, I kind of need to do it, I'd say, so... Yeah, I can't have that many. Then I would have to completely forget. You do not have enough skill points available. I really don't like to get this thing, this advanced race theory, but it would help me right now. That's something that I assume that I want to forget when I can. I guess I should stop this one, because I will need the lonesome long way home. So let's start the advanced race theory. Internalize it, so maybe we can try to talk to this dude again and actually get somewhere. My god though, that was a lot of weird stuff. Weird talks. We can go and investigate something else. If that doesn't work, I can try to do the jump from there, but the unfortunate fact is that I don't think I can do that. I really just don't see how I would be able to do it. But okay, that's enough for the moment and time being. Enough. That was a lot. So thank you for watching, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed nonetheless all of this weirdness. So we'll see where we'll be going next time. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you for more next time around. So bye bye till then. To be continued with Kira Rusha next time in Disco Elysium. See you all then.